Once upon a time, in a lush green kingdom called Verdale, there lived a kind and noble prince named Elian. He had hair like dark silk, eyes as blue as the morning sky, and a heart that beat with compassion for all living things. The people of Verdale loved him dearly, for he was not only a warrior in training but also a healer, a listener, and a friend. But not far from Verdale's borders, in the withering woods, there lived an old sorceress named Morgrina. She had once sought the prince's hand in alliance, through dark magic and fear, but he had refused, choosing instead to lead with honor and light. Enraged by his rejection, Morgrina cursed him. "You shall be stripped of your royal form and voice," she hissed. "Let the world forget who you are. Let your crown lie in the mud. Until a heart braver than your own dares to see past the ugliness and break the curse, you shall croak beneath the moonlight." And with a wave of her staff, Prince Elian vanished, replaced by a small green frog sitting on the edge of the royal fountain. The spell was strong, not only transforming Elian into a frog but also clouding the minds of his people. Even the king and queen wept for a missing son whose name they could no longer remember. Elian, now a frog, leapt through the palace gardens for weeks, then months, then years. He avoided birds and predators, living off pond insects and raindrops. But he still remembered who he was. Each night, he looked at the stars and whispered with all his might, "One day, someone will find me." Far away in the neighboring kingdom of Eldoria lived a princess named Leora. She was unlike any princess before her. Not content with embroidery and dances, she studied fencing, riddles, and healing herbs. She often disguised herself as a common traveler and explored villages in secret, helping whoever she could. One day, she heard rumors of Verdale's enchanted frog. They said he watched the stars like a lonely soul, that he never aged, and that his eyes were too human to be ordinary. Her heart stirred with curiosity and something else, empathy. "I must see this frog," she said, and so began her journey toward a forgotten prince. Princess Leora arrived at the border of Verdale, where a beautiful garden bloomed. Near a fountain sat a green frog, gazing at the stars. Leora immediately sensed this was no ordinary frog, there was a human sparkle in his eyes. "Are you the frog from the stories?" Leora asked gently. The frog nodded slowly, and a tear slid down his cheek. Leora carefully picked him up and said with determination, "I will help you." Leora decided to take the frog with her to the palace. On the way, they had to pass through Morgarina's enchanted forest. There, Morgarina herself blocked their path. "You cannot free him," Morgarina snarled. Leora drew her sword and said fiercely, "I've come to rescue the prince of my kingdom." A fierce battle erupted between light and shadow. With courage and skill, Leora fought bravely, striking down Morgarina and shattering her magical staff. With a scream of defeat, Morgarina fell, her powers broken. "You destroyed my power," she shrieked as she vanished into smoke. As soon as Morgarina's powers were gone, a brilliant light enveloped the frog. Slowly, his shape began to change. The tiny frog transformed back into Prince Elian, tall and regal. He looked at Leora with grateful eyes and said, "You saved me." Leora smiled and replied, "It was my duty, and my choice." Elian and Leora returned to Verdale. The people were astonished, but when they saw their prince had returned, they rejoiced with cheers and tears of happiness. The king and queen embraced their son, and the entire kingdom erupted in celebration. A few days later, Elian proposed to Leora. With a joyful heart, she accepted. Their wedding was a grand affair, uniting two kingdoms in love and harmony. Flowers adorned every street, bells rang from the towers, and laughter filled the skies. Together, Elian and Leora ruled with kindness and wisdom. They brought peace to their people and taught that bravery and love can break even the strongest curses.